Hey, this is Greg Auman for TampaBay.com. I left my little remote control at home. But anyway, wrapping up a crazy night here at Raymond James Stadium for USF football. It's a 70-17 win against Florida A&M. Most points scored by the Bulls since their very first game back in 1997 when they beat Kentucky Wesleyan 80-3. Huge night offensively. The Bulls put up 745 yards of total offense. That's a Big East record. It's also a USF record. The most they'd ever had before was 580 yards, so 165 more yards than any Bulls game ever before this. Big night for B.J. Daniels for the second week in a row. He threw for 355 yards in the first half, finished with 382, threw for 4 touchdowns, ran for a 5th. He matches Matt Grothy's school record with 382. A big night on the ground for Darryl Scott. He rushes for 146 yards. He also caught an 84-yard screen pass, took that all the way for another touchdown. He finished with 4 touchdowns. He had 230 yards of total offense, becomes the first Bull ever to get a 50-yard rushing touchdown and a 50-yard receiving touchdown in the same season, not to mention in the first game and in the same quarter. Big day for him in his first start. Obviously the defense played well as well, gave up 17 points, which is probably more than they'd like, but held Florida A&M to about 181 yards of total offense, I think is what it was. Came up with some big turnovers again. John Legist got an interception. Overall, again, the kind of dominating game you want to have against a 1AA opponent. The larger issue for USF football now might very well be the future of Big East football. The news this afternoon was that Syracuse and Pittsburgh have applied to leave the Big East and join the ACC. Obviously, that's two of the very first, very central members of the Big East, two of the most tradition-laden programs in Big East football that would be leaving. The Big East would be left with 7 football teams whenever that happens, and them leaving also puts TCU more in jeopardy. So a lot of things in flux and a lot of things in jeopardy now. A lot of questions will be answered in the next couple weeks in terms of who's going where, what USF's future is, what conference it is, and what's going to happen with the Big East. Obviously, you still have a huge basketball conference, a lot of successful programs there, but the football side isn't what it used to be if they lose Pittsburgh and Syracuse. And a lot will happen here in the next few days. Could have an announcement from the ACC on their 2 new teams as early as tomorrow. Doug Woolard and Judy Genshaft issued a joint statement talking about how they have been aware of the situation and have been in dialogue at the conference and national level over the last 18 months. Obviously, they have to act quickly, as the Big East does, to solidify its future and the Bulls' future. We'll have more on that and more getting ready for one more home tune-up against UTEP next week, all at TampaBay.com. Thanks again from here at Raymond James Stadium.